From WXII 12 News, this is breaking news.
First at 6, that breaking news out of Winston-Salem, where a former employee of IFB Solutions is accused of having inappropriate sexual contact with a minor.
John Caldwell is his name. He's charged with sexual battery and crimes against nature. Winston-Salem police say this investigation started back in August of 2018, and Caldwell was arrested in July of this year. IFB Solutions sent a statement to WXII 12 News, which reads in part, "The reported allegation regarding a former employee is disturbing. As soon as we were made aware of the allegation, we took immediate action. The safety of our employees and visitors is of utmost priority." But a lawsuit claims otherwise. Back in May, a parent of the alleged victim sued IFB. That suit says the victim has Down syndrome, worked at IFB as part of a program through the school system, and claims IFB Solutions knew about the accusations in 2017 but did not do anything. IFB has yet to respond to our questions about that lawsuit.
In Commitment 2020, North Carolina voters will use new machines to make their pick in next year's presidential election, but the machines are already being criticized.
Some people say the state is not doing enough to ensure the integrity of the voting system.
Meanwhile, local elections boards are running out of time to pick new machines that they'll use.
Bill O'Neill has tonight's Commitment 2020 coverage from the city of Greensboro.
Yeah, several groups are pushing North Carolina to adopt a hand-marked paper ballot as the new voting system. The other option is also a paper ballot, but it's created by a touchscreen that produces a barcode. And critics say that option is not secure.
Do you read barcode? Can you? Do you know that barcodes can have changes on them?
The barcode option has come under fire by several groups who claim the system is susceptible to hacking.
The vote was transferred mysteriously from the candidate that I had chosen to the one below it.
Greensboro Rabbi Fred Gutman says his vote changed 3 times in the last election using the current touchscreen device in Guilford County.
We have no idea of how many votes were changed in such a way.
North Carolina election officials certified 3 voting systems for the 2020 election. But critics say the state failed to fully vet the security of the source code that was used.
Source code's like a recipe.
UNCG's Chief Information Security Officer says messing with the source code in voting machines is like replacing vinegar with arsenic in your coleslaw recipe. So using the source code can have an impact on the barcode.
Absolutely. And the security of that barcode, what's in it, how it's read, how it's interpreted, all those things.
A response to concerns about source code and the state's certification program is expected next Tuesday at the state's Board of Elections meeting. A spokesman for the board says the 3 systems certified by the state have all been certified, tested, used, and audited in many other states and certified by federal officials.
There is some question about whether that equipment is even compliant with the 2005 state law that requires a review of the source code.
Guilford County Democrat Pricey Harrison, a member of the North Carolina Elections Commission for 15 years, is among those concerned about the new voting machines.
We're just really concerned about where we are with these voting machines and election integrity and voters' confidence in this election.
Representative Pricey Harrison spoke before a public hearing of the Guilford County Board of Elections. The board on that day delayed its vote on new voting machines until next Tuesday, October 1st, the same day that the state board is scheduled to meet. In Greensboro, Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Bill. Timing is of the essence here. Elections officials in Guilford County say they need to pick a new voting machine and test it during the upcoming municipal elections. Those are just over a month away.
Tonight in 12 investigates 100 pieces of voting equipment hacked at a convention full of hackers. We are tracking it all for you as part of our National Investigative Unit's ongoing series of election security. Today at the U.S. Capitol, lawmakers and DEF CON organizers unveiled their final report. It says that it found vulnerabilities in every piece of voting equipment tested.
We are using not merely imperfect but demonstrably insecure infrastructure to conduct our elections.
I'm not a fan of ad hoc anonymous testing that happens in a conference room in a casino in Las Vegas.
Last week, the nation's largest vendor of voting equipment threw cold water on the DEF CON hacking efforts, but the Department of Homeland Security and many states' chief election officials are embracing the free testing.
The entire whistleblower complaint against the president is now public, and it goes beyond a call with the president of Ukraine. The complaint against President Trump accuses the White House of trying to cover up evidence. The acting director of national intelligence testified for 3 hours today on Capitol Hill. Joseph McGuire is his name. He says the whistleblower did the right thing by coming forward. He did say take some heat from lawmakers for taking that complaint to the White House at first before then going to Congress. The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says the panel will work through its upcoming 2-week recess. The committee is hoping to bring the whistleblower, him or herself, in to testify. And coming up tonight at the bottom of the hour on NBC Nightly News, more on the allegations against the White House that are coming out in the wake of this whistleblower complaint, and a closer look at today's testimony on Capitol Hill. Nightly News with Lester Holt begins at 6:30 right here.
The former chief executive of Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina says that he is ashamed and embarrassed by his DWI arrest. Patrick Conway resigned yesterday, facing a lot of pressure from the company's board and the state's insurance commissioner. Investigators charged Conway with DWI and child abuse in June for this. They say he was involved in a car crash on I-85 in Archdale. Initially, now trustees decided to keep Conway on as CEO, but the board says new details about the crash and Conway's behavior during the arrest made them re-examine the situation, and they have asked for his resignation. Conway is expected back in court at some point next month. Folks, we do have several court documents and additional details related to this case on our website and on WXI 12 News mobile app. You can read the arresting officer's narrative, which describes Conway's behavior as, quote, absolutely belligerent, end quote, and also see the original police report. Just look for this story on the app homepage.
Tonight, Cone Health in Greensboro is reporting North Carolina's first death linked to vaping. A spokesperson for the hospital says that patient died yesterday at Moses Cone Hospital in Greensboro. The CDC just released new vaping numbers today. According to their research, an outbreak of a mysterious lung disease possibly linked to vaping continues to get worse. CDC folks are reporting 805 cases and at least 13 deaths.
3 violent crimes in 2 counties in less than 7 hours.
And detectives say a man who shot 2 people in the Piedmont Triad, then pointed a gun at 3 women down in Charlotte, then stole their car. Tonight, Corey Perrin is in Davidson County Jail with bond set at more than $1 million. Detectives say all of this started last night in Thomasville. They say he and another person, Malachi Jones, shot a man in the head at the Thomasville Inn. About 10 minutes after that, investigators go on to say officers in High Point were called out to the scene of the Sunoco on South Main Street. Jones told them that Perrin shot him twice while Jones was driving. He says Perrin then jumped into the driver's seat and took off.
A few hours later, Charlotte police responded to a carjacking. They found the abandoned car but did not spot the suspect until early this morning. They say he was walking on the side of the road. They arrested him and sent him back to Davidson County.
Right now, Perrin is charged with attempted murder and possession of a firearm. More charges are expected. Jones is charged in the shooting at the Thomasville Inn.
A woman who drove the wrong way on I-85 for several miles crashed and died in Davidson County. That's according to WSOC. The woman from Salisbury got onto the interstate in Rowan County and drove the wrong way for about 10 miles into Davidson County. WSOC reports that she crashed into a tractor trailer and hit an SUV outside of Thomasville.
Another woman accused of beating a man to death with a baseball bat is behind bars in Wilkes County. Deputies say Tabitha Triplett called 911 and told dispatchers she beat John Robinson and thought he was dead. Deputies responded to a home in the Ferguson community yesterday afternoon. According to the incident report, Robinson was disabled. Triplett is now charged with murder.
Tonight in a WXI 12 News exclusive, a convenience store employee tied up and set on fire nearly 1 year ago shares his story for the very first time.
As he continues to heal emotionally and physically from those terrifying events, the owner of the Stop and Save Mart in Clemens is trying to rebuild and get back on his feet.
Our Steve King talked to him, sharing that employee's story, all new of survival here on WXI 12.
As contractors work to restore the Stop and Save Mart here in Clemens, the employee who was tied up and left for dead as the building was set on fire recalls how he was able to survive.
My God. Strength. I didn't want to die in a fire. It's been my biggest fear all my life. I asked for strength. And I felt I got it. Because I'm here today. I'm here today.
Physically, David Slater says he's recovered after breathing in smoke and getting scrapes and bruises, but he says every day is a struggle.
I sleep now, lightly, very lightly. There's visions you carry in your head, and I think I'll have them a while.
But Slater also says he's encouraged, knowing the store will reopen soon.
We can come through the fire and rise. We can do this. You can cut us down, but you can't stop us.
He also says he plans to go back to work and show his attackers he will not give up doing the job he loves.
We can't wait to open the doors. Stand there and say, come home.
The owner says he hopes the Stop and Save Mart reopens before the end of the year. Reporting in Clemens, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Steve. These are the two men accused of tying up that employee and then setting the store on fire. David Smith and Cody Long are due back in court in a couple of weeks, October 15th.